Okay, let's be real. Managing social media can feel like a full-time juggling act. There are planning tools, approval stages, content calendars, asset folders, and then finally your scheduling tool. And most of the time, the actual strategy isn't what slows you down. It's the admin in between. Copying captions from one tool to another, downloading images just to upload them again, reformatting posts, double-checking links, and then doing that across multiple platforms. Hey, I'm Connie, the social media coordinator here at Sendible, and today I'm going to walk you through a structured, realistic social media workflow that any social media manager or team can use to remove that manual copy-paste stage completely. This isn't about replacing the tools you love, it's about connecting them properly so your workflow feels smoother, more reliable, and a lot less repetitive. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear step-by-step system that you can actually implement within your team. Most teams already have a solid planning process. You might be using Notion to map out campaigns, Airtable to organize content, Monday or ClickUp for task management, or even Google Sheets as a simple calendar. This might be where your copywriters draft content, your designers upload final assets, and maybe clients or team members approve your content there. This part usually works well. Where things start to break down is the jump between approved and scheduled. Once something is approved, someone still has to manually recreate it inside your scheduling tool. They open the planning board, copy the caption, download the image, open the scheduler, upload the image again, paste the caption, set the publish date, select the correct profiles, and then repeat that process for every single post. Now, whether you're managing one brand or multiple, it's the admin task that becomes that weekly time drain, and it's usually where small mistakes happen. That could be that a slightly outdated caption gets pasted, a link is missing, or the post gets scheduled to the wrong profile. Not because your team isn't capable, but because manual systems eventually create friction. So instead of rebuilding your entire workflow, we're just going to tighten the handoff between planning and publishing. Now, the workflow that we're going to build today is very simple. You can continue to plan content inside your planning tool like you already do, or if you don't already use one, you can download one of the previously mentioned tools and start planning your content in those. Then you can move it through review and approval stages, and once it's officially approved, the approval automatically triggers the creation of a post inside Sendible. That means your planning tool remains your control center, and your social media networks become the destination, all because of the integration with Sendible. No one manually rebuilds posts or downloads and re-uploads assets. The approved content simply moves forward. Now we're going to break down this whole thing step by step. Step 1, structure your planning tool correctly. The first step is making sure your planning tool has the right structure. You don't need anything complicated, but each post should have one row, card, or task that includes the essential information. You need a field for the caption, a field for the publish date and time, a field for the platform or platforms, a field for the media link, and most importantly, a status field. The status field is what controls everything. Your workflow might include draft, in review, client review, and approved. It doesn't matter what you call them, as long as there is one final stage that indicates clearly this is ready to go. Your planning tool should remain the source of truth, and nothing moves forward unless it reaches that final stage of approval. One practical thing to note here is that for media attachments, it's going to work best if you use a public link, such as Google Drive, Dropbox, or another cloud service. This allows the automation to get the asset without any manual downloading. At this stage, you're not automating anything yet, you're simply making sure your planning system is complete and clean. Step 2, define your handoff moment. Now, decide what officially counts as ready. For most teams, that's when the status changes to approved or final, as that moment becomes their trigger. This is important because it keeps your team in control. Automation doesn't decide what gets scheduled, your approval process does. Once something is marked as approved, it should be safe to assume that the caption is final, the media is correct, the publish date is accurate, and the team or client has signed off if needed. This clarity is going to prevent a lot of confusion later. Step 3, connect your planning tool to Sendible. Now we connect the two systems using Zapier. Zapier simply acts as the bridge between your planning tool and Sendible. You create what's called a zap, which has a trigger and an action. The trigger is when the status field changes from approved inside your planning tool, and the action is to create a message in Sendible. And when you set this up, you map your fields. The caption field in your planning tool connects to the message text in Sendible, the publish date connects to the schedule time, the media link connects to the media attachment, You also choose which social profile, profile list, or queue that post should go to. You only need to configure this once, and after that, whenever a post reaches approved, it automatically appears inside your Sendible calendar. If you manage multiple brands or clients, you can even create slightly different apps for each client or route content based on a client field, but I always recommend starting simple. One client, one workflow, then test it and expand. Step 4, add a simple internal check. So before your team marks anything as improved, create one simple rule. No one changes the status to approved unless every required field is complete. The caption must be final, the publish date must be filled in, the media link must be working, and the platform must be selected. This is what's going to make that system reliable, because automation works best when the information it receives is clean and complete. And once that habit is built into your process, the automation runs smoothly. Step 5, what changes in your day-to-day? So once the workflow is live, your daily routine is going to shift slightly. So instead of spending time building posts in your scheduler, you're going to open Sendible and see approved content already sitting in your calendar. Here, you can still review posts, adjust timing if needed, and check previews. This becomes especially powerful as you grow. The more brands, clients, or locations you manage, the more manual admin work there is. But by automating the handoff stage, you're protecting your team's time and reducing the chance of small but frustrating errors. You also create consistency, and there is a clear rule: once approved, it moves forward. That clarity is going to reduce back and forth messages and confusion about whether or not something has been scheduled. Okay, now once you're comfortable with the core workflow, you can refine it as much as you need. Some teams prefer sending approval posts into a queue instead of directly scheduling them. Others want separate automations for different platforms and brands, but those refinements come much later. And the best part is that you can continue to edit your workflow as much as you need, just to make sure it suits you and your needs. The foundation remains the same. Approved content moves automatically from your planning tool straight into Sendible. And there you have it. A strong social media workflow doesn't have to mean more tools or more complexity. Often it means removing the weak link. If your team is already planning content effectively, keep that system and just improve the handoff between planning and publishing. Start small, automate one client or one campaign first, and see how it fits into your process. You might be surprised by how much time that one adjustment frees up. And if this video helped you rethink your workflow, give it a like, hit subscribe, and let me know in the comments which planning tool you're currently using. And I'll see you in the next video.